Hey, Alex, this is going to be just the second game in over 3 weeks, I think. I mean, you probably never had to deal with anything like this. What are the biggest challenges that you found just not being able to get into a rhythm with no games on the schedule?
Continuing to get better in practice every day. I think that's our main focus right now. We're coming off a tough loss against Gonzaga, number one team in the country. We were going into it all prepared and came out with a loss, but I think just being able to bounce back from that, being able to still prepare, stay locked into our next two scouts, and just come ready hungry for these next two games.
Hey, Alex. When you came over from Arizona, or when we both came over from Arizona last year, you quickly earned the hearts of Cougar Nation and became one of their favorites. And they kind of knew you would be one of the leaders for the team this year. But what sort of inspired you to take that leadership role? And what does it mean for you? And what do you do differently?
It means everything to me. Just having the trust from the coaching staff and my entire team to be the leader on the floor and off the floor and just leading this group, it means everything to me. And I told the coaching staff this summer, I've had multiple talks with the guys and just telling them, like, hey, I'm in this, we're all in this together. We got one goal at the end of the day. And if you guys give me that trust to lead this team, then I'm going to fall into it and dive into it with all my heart. Just kind of how like my decision to come over here was, me deciding to move on from Arizona and then come into this new opportunity. I decided to give Brigham Young, my entire heart. I'm gonna pour everything I have into it with my energy, with me watching film, with me expanding my game, whatever that may be. I'm just gonna give it everything I have, and it means something really special to me. I don't know if I could put it into words right now, just because I'm so focused on our next two games right now, our next game ahead of us. But it definitely means the world to me, everything to me. Like I said, just I don't know. I mean, I'm pouring my entire heart into this season, into the guys, into this coaching staff. I have unbelievable trust in them, and I'm just excited for what the rest of our season has to come.
And who have you sort of tried to emulate? Who have you looked up to as a leader throughout your career?
Throughout my career, uh, I haven't really at Arizona. I looked at certain players in the league, just kind of what they did on and off the floor, kind of what I'd read about them, how their interviews went post game, what they'd talk about, like what their main goals were for the team, how they were trying to make the guys around them better. Guys like like Steph, like Dame Lillard, Chris Paul, guys who have the ball in their hand, and I mean they're really great players individually, but I really think that they expand everyone who they play with around them. I think they just expand their game so much, and so just I mean following them throughout their careers, I really dove into Dame's game, Steph's game, Fred Van Fleet's game, Chris Paul's game this past summer. And then obviously, I'm a big fan of Steve Nash, and I watched his old clips over this summer, just seeing how I can create for my teammates, get them the ball in positions that they're comfortable in, that they find easy to score in, and I'll just say those are a few of the players that I've looked up throughout my career. I think coming here, being able to learn from Coach Feger, from Coach Pope. Being able to be in the weight room with Coach Shork and just how he's developed me and my body and also how he's helped me with my leadership role in the weight room and on the court. Just the talks that I've had with all those three coaches have been a big part in my success and what I bring to the table. And I think that, I mean, what they're telling me, it speaks true, and I'm just trying to kind of emulate that with how I am on and off the floor and how I can be towards these guys.
Alex, in the time that you've been at BYU, you've had some pretty memorable battles with St. Mary's. In fact, the last game in the WCC tournament, I think you had to actually play with a broken wrist, and it was kind of a disappointing end of the season. Obviously, we didn't know it was the end of the season at that point. But what do you remember about that game, and what is the challenge that lays before you on Thursday going to St. Mary's?
I remember how physical they were. I mean, it was a battle from start to finish. WCC tournament. Yeah, my wrist was a little bit in more pain than it is now, but thankfully it's healthy now. But they're an extremely physical team. They set a lot of high ball screens. They share the ball really well. They have high talented players. And, just like the game against Gonzaga, it's going to be a battle. And we're going to have to come in on our A game and be ready for a fight from start to finish.
Darnell Dixon and Tyler Gibb.
Yeah, Alex, St. Mary's, their gym is one of those kind of unique places to play. You know that from being there last year, but there won't be any fans in the stands. Have you guys gotten used to, at home and even on the road, just kind of not being influenced that much by the environment, as it were?
Yeah, I think we really have. I think we have to bring a lot more energy from our bench. Guys have to be more engaged, and you're not getting all that the crowd sensations when you hit a three or hit a couple threes back to back, and it's just kind of deafening and you can't hear. But yeah, definitely. I would say that it's tough, but I think that we've really done a good job bringing energy from our bench. The guys that come in during the game, they bring a lot of energy from the bench, and I think we do a really good job of keeping that going throughout the game.
Alex, have you noticed any differences in the way teams guard you now compared to at the beginning of the season? And if so, how are you working to adapt to that?
Definitely. A lot of teams are trying not to let me get a catch, and then they're kind of sometimes they blitz me off ball screens. But like I saw against Gonzaga, they really weren't trying to let me get a catch in some of our offensive concepts. But we've been practicing throughout this entire week. I've hit a lot of film with Coach Feger, with Coach Pope, and we've kind of talked about it as a team how we're going to play through that if teams do continue to throw that defense at me. But I just I have all the trust in my coaching staff, so I'm just trying to do what they're telling me out there, trying to do what they show me in film, different ways that we can kind of pick apart the defense when they're throwing that blitz or not trying to let me get a catch, how we can play around that.
Jeff Paul.
Yeah, what's it like, Alex, for you and your teammates to see a guy like Wyatt, who obviously now out for the season with an injury, to watch him battle so hard to come back after that shoulder injury to be ready for the season, and then to have another, serious injury like that? What's it been like for you guys to deal with that?
It's extremely unfortunate. Wyatt's such a great teammate and a great guy off the court. Such a hard worker, and our whole team was with him when he was battling back from his shoulder injury, and he finally got back, and we were so excited for him. And then to see him go down, it's extremely unfortunate, and we just want to be there for him throughout this entire process of him coming back off this injury, and we just want to let him know that we're there for him. We're his brother, and whatever he needs, we're going to be there.
All right, any other questions for Alex? Okay, I think that's it for today. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, guys.